Out.
He's out.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how long?
No.
Your thoughts going into St. Cloud and resuming NCHC play here? Obviously, we guys need to kind of tighten up some things up from last weekend.
Well, we got to be ready. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be playoff hockey from now until the end of the year. I mean, obviously, St. Cloud's had a good start to their second half too. They won a tournament and split last weekend, but it gets real. It gets real. So you got to be prepared for big boy hockey. That's what it's going to be.
How have you seen the freshmen evolve and grow and continue to improve under your team?
I still think there's been some ups and downs. I think there's been some growth, but we'll find out here as we get into the last half of the season for sure. Maybe some guys, maybe not as much. Again, I still think some guys are figuring things out. But they're guys that certainly we need them to help or to figure it out, because we're gonna utilize them, and again we're a team that's gonna need everybody to win hockey games. And
we had Hunter Anderson and Vivi on the podcast, and they were talking about how I thought it was interesting. Both those guys committed pretty late to you, and I don't think either of them met you guys in person. They got calls from Krause, and Vivi said he committed 3 to 4 days after. And Hunter was something similar. I wonder if you could take me through the recruiting process for those guys. You had mentioned Krause and Schuffer did a ton of work last summer.
Yeah, I mean those guys, all three of them, Brent, those guys watched a lot of games, and again, both of them, Bibbs was a little bit later, but obviously Keith McInnes was there, and kept talking about him and type of person he is, type of player, and so they watch him, and that's how that worked out. Obviously, we've seen Hunter play. He was committed to Denver, and whether it was at Shattuck or Lincoln, and again, Danny was committed. Those two played together, so there was a connection there. But again, talented player, put up big numbers in Shattuck, and also had a good junior career too. So yeah, it worked out, and you know what? I'm thankful and happy that they both, chose to come here, because I think they both bring a lot of good tangible things. Bibbs, strong skate, not afraid of physicality. Want to see him get a little better. He's getting a little more confident with the puck. I think that got away from him a little bit. Hunter, obviously, we've talked about a number of times. He's got a great stick. He's got the knack to score. He can shoot it. Again, for him, it's, the pace, and again, like that's pretty common for some freshmen, but, brings a element offensively for sure, and he's got a good hockey IQ, and so again, I think he can play an important part.
What did you think your D4 performance about the season continues to evolve, and he's becoming more and more fourth player, not having your Saturday your 7 guys performed in that game?
Well, you know what? I think they did fine. I think team defensively we were just okay. I mean, again, moving forward, if we don't get better there, it's going to be tough. It's going to get a major challenge this weekend too. Big sheet, a team that really gets to the net hard. They're first on pucks. They're not afraid to get pucks into the hard areas right around the net. So again, we need to defend better. It's not a one-way game. It's not a one-way street game. Like, as much as we want to play that way, you got to defend. And defending is part of it, but also our exits. We've talked and had a couple drills and talked about exits this week, and got to get better with that comfortability of short pass support and getting pucks out. And it's not. There's lots of different scenarios that come up, whether it's D with time, maybe not an option to flip a puck out, chip it out. It's got to get to the next zone. And I think even watching when they played Omaha the number of times Omaha didn't get the puck out, the extended offensive zone time, and we've seen that with our team. When we are a little better on exits, and some are easier than others, but when you're in those tight situations and you've got structure and you got to know how to get pucks out, and I think we need to do a better job of that moving forward for us to spend less time there, because you're always going to defend, but spend less time and not just make soft plays, and have a little more calmness, I would say, to getting pucks out and being comfortable with not everything has to be tape to tape, right? I mean, you watch NHL, you watch the games, a lot of pucks are flipped, and it's a race in the neutral zone, but pucks get out, right? So if you're playing zone to zone better, it's not just there, it's also entering the zone, making good decisions there, grabbing the line when you can, getting it in past the line when you can, chipping it in, whatever it is. You can't turnovers are going to cause a lot of problems, and so, but that's one area that I think it goes along with the D zone. The exits are a big part of that.
Importance for you you had a live league play last weekend, being able to get a team in here, play a couple of meaningful games, get your guys back in that frame of mind that you want to get and before you get back to the league play this week.
Well, I think it was good to get games. I mean, obviously, we got the one game, but I don't know if we approached it the way we needed to. So that maybe why you saw what we saw. There was some obviously really good things. Power play was good. Got a couple, Dolly got in there. We got some guys, some different guys in there. But just, I didn't think we had a lot of consistency. I wasn't super happy with Friday's win on Saturday. I loved our start. Second period Saturday was atrocious. Again, I don't know if guys thought it was going to be point night or easy, but we weren't very good, and they pushed and made it a hockey game. And I thought they actually played pretty good, except for their discipline. Right? I thought they became, their lack of discipline cost them. Right? Because I thought they played a pretty good game. They played to their game plan. They got pucks north. They pressured. They gave us some problems on the forecheck. And we helped that too by turning a lot of pucks over. So yeah, it was games, but it wasn't anywhere near where we need to be. And we're going to go into a tough building. They're going to be ready. Played them earlier in the year, and Saturday's game again went to overtime, but we had a good weekend, but it's going to go up a notch. It's just going to go up a notch, and that's what we need to be ready for. It goes back to the first question.
How pleased are you with how your special teams so far has sustained over the course of the year? You've been power play been pretty solid throughout, and the penalty kills have been up at high 80s here most of the year.
Yeah, obviously the power play is, you have a weekend like we did. Obviously that really helps too, but it helps their confidence. But I think both units are good right now. Obviously, Seeps isn't on the second one. Klebs is going to go on there. But that unit's, since we made those switches, moved, Aaron back to the top, and Seeps and Anderson on the power play. I think that power play has been better too. But and you need that because the first one can't do it all the time. But they're going to create like they have. But yeah, it's good. The penalty kill. Maybe a little concerned is we haven't had a ton of penalty kills, and we haven't had a ton of work. Now we're going to a bigger sheet, so we'll get some work on that tomorrow. We're going to spend a lot of time on our special teams tomorrow.
This will be, unless they get a heck of a heater here in the second half and get more ice, this will be the last time you play the big sheet.
Thank God.
This year.
No.
What are your thoughts on that?
We've played well there. You know what? We don't put too much stock. Again, I think sometimes when we talk about the power play, I think sometimes when guys, especially in the power play, you think you have all this space, and the guys don't move pucks quick enough, right? I still think the same mindset as you are in a smaller rink as far as puck movement and quick puck movement and doing the things. But the defending part, you know, the distance between the dots are the same in any rink, you know, so it's the space on the outside. So, you know, you gotta be aware of that. You gotta take advantage of that too offensively. So teams might possess pucks more, but other than that, it's still a game. I mean, we don't put a lot of stock into it and don't talk much about it. You just kind of go and play, and we'll have a practice there and a couple practices before we play, like we always do, and hopefully, you know, we adjust. And you know, the teams that play, like they play on it all year, so it's an advantage to their power play. And you look at their numbers at home, right? But they also, teams that use that, maybe utilize the width of the rink better, right, through their transition, right? And where maybe teams that don't play on it, maybe it takes a little bit of an adjustment, but it's not that much. It's not that much of an adjustment. It's really not. You still want to get inside the dots. Those don't change. You might have at times more time to possess pucks outside that, but it's where you want to keep teams anyway. So we got to do a good job around our net. Against this team, we got to do a good job around our net and not allow them to. They've been scoring a lot of goals in that area, so we gotta defend well there. You guys, anything outside?
Coach, your team's undefeated on Friday so far this season. What do you think has been the key to starting out the season straight up?
Well, guys are ready to play, right? I don't know. Certainly don't want to change that, but you know, hopefully there's not a time where we have to experience the other end of it. But yeah, it's been good. I don't have an explanation. I don't know, guys. Guess they're excited to play. We've had some good weeks of practice to prepare, and you know, again, it's worked out that way. So it'll be interesting to see if we have it go the other way, right? Because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to experience that. I want to make sure that we focus on the one game and we're not worried about two games, and I think our guys have done a really good job with that.
How good did it finally feel to get a sweep there? It seemed like the first half seemed to lost splits, and then you start off the second and here with a sweep against them.
Yeah. It always feels good to win two, right? But again, our league's harder than maybe what we've seen. Again, I don't know. We don't talk about it. You guys can talk about it, which you do, but you got to find ways. And like I said, sooner or later, once you do it enough, if you keep winning Friday, you're going to break through. And we have in the past. I mean, it's not like we've lost every Saturday. We've got like 5 wins on Saturday. So it's, you know, what are we, 5-6 or 5-7, whatever it is. It's not bad, 500. So, but yeah, it feels good. I mean, that's the goal every weekend, is to win 2 hockey games. But our goal right now is to be ready to go Friday and try and win that game before you worry about what's going to happen on Saturday. Spirited game. Spirited. It's not like the old Iron Range games. Matt, you should have seen some of those.
I just thought there was almost, everyone was thinking Hibbing at the beginning of the year as a top team in that class. And Ty come on the podcast and told us that Herman's obviously team.
I had people ask me who I'm cheering for. I said, I'm not cheering for anybody. I just want to see a good hockey game. I didn't mind it. I like the emotion that the kids played with, and you know what? Obviously they don't like each other, which is great. You don't see that much. You don't see that much anymore. So some good plays made, some talented players, you know, but aside from the other stuff, which games take on their own meaning. I thought the third period was kind of boring, to be honest. I was waiting for something bigger, but then I saw the officials talking to the captains, and I'm like, this game's done. So, you know, just let them go. Just let the emotions play out, right? So, it was good. Good crowd. It was good. Hopefully, if they meet again, it's a good preview of what could happen. Both teams can play, so I don't know if you'll see so much of that. But if it does, that's all right. It's like North Dakota and Duluth in the Target Center. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nobody pulled him in behind.
Huh?
I didn't see that.
Well, again.
Cleves, a lot of people have said nice things about you. Both your defensive partners from the US and UMD here lately. How have it, through the World Juniors now and everything, how are you feeling about yourself and the growth and steps you've taken this season?
Yeah, I feel good right now. I think last weekend, tough weekend for me personally, just getting back into the swing of things. I feel like it's kind of hard to kind of get that, that emotional feel for the game to try to get up after, what happened in World Juniors. So I feel good now. I think as a season as a whole, I've just been improving and taking strides here and there. I look to continue to keep doing that in the second half, try to be more offensive and help out that way too.
Is that an adjustment? Guy would mention like it was an adjustment for him coming in. And obviously it's maybe different for a goaltender, but playing in the Spengler Cup, taking on pros, and then coming back to college. You playing in the World Juniors, coming back to college, maybe it's a little different. You're playing younger players in the World Juniors, you come back to college, you're playing some older guys again. Is that a bit of an adjustment, switching between those two levels?
Yeah, it was. I think just kind of the style of plays too, and kind of getting back with your team, who you're playing with, and kind of getting the systems back. I think, just it's kind of hard to explain, but it's different and just got to adjust. And like I said, I feel good in practice this week, and I'm excited to play against St. Cloud.
What are the differences and similarities between playing with Ty Hansen and Bulldogs?
They both love to join the rush. They're shooters. They like to create from the point. The biggest thing is just kind of being that fourth guy on the attack and trying to find that fourth wave and just get pucks through and create as much as they can.
More similarities than differences between the two, would you say, or
mentality-wise, 100%. They're there. Ty also, he defends too, and but not that Cole doesn't. But I'd say Cole is more really offensive focused, but he's also offensively focused too. But there's always differences in the way they skate too, in the way they kind of handle the puck. They handle it a little differently, but I'd say kind of mentality-wise, they're both offensively driven.
you mentioned trying to get involved in the offense a little more. I was going back and looking at your World Juniors and that pass you made to with Stiga and Max finished there, and that game was really good. You're getting the chance with Seaman out on the power play right now. How are you feeling on the power play, getting that opportunity, and what's kind of your philosophy when you're out there on the power play?
Yeah,
What role you want to play?
I felt good today on it. our unit had some goals out there, and we were generating off the rush, and I thought we were moving the puck really quick. So it's nothing I don't feel I can't do. I'm excited, use some extra space in St. Cloud. They got an Olympic rink there, so just kind of, be poised with the puck and just try to make a lot of plays. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
Obviously, a disappointing end of the World Junior. Sandy said last week he gave you a couple days to kind of decompress before he got you back on the ice last week. How important was that to just step back, even fully for a couple of days, before you rejoin your team here?
Yeah, it's very important. I think we played Friday, and then I started practicing Tuesday, and just that Saturday, Sunday, Monday were huge, just to be at home and just kind of decompress and kind of reflect on it. It's the tournament. It's kind of just it's emotionally taxing, and especially ending it and the way we did. It's kind of hard to just kind of move on from that and go right away into practice on Monday with your team that you're playing with. So I think you just gotta reflect and take some time off and make sure you're ready to go. And I think it was kind of hard last week, just kind of getting back into the swing of things with our team. And like I said, I didn't really feel my best against Lindenwood, so I feel more natural this week, more kind of in the swing of things, and I'm excited to kind of get a couple games again against St. Cloud.
I didn't get to go to the quarterfinal because somebody scheduled an exhibition game that night. I did get to the first 4 games, and it felt like the atmosphere got better every game. Whether the crowd size was better or not, the atmosphere felt better. It felt like more buzz in the building, more people into what you guys are doing on the ice. Did you guys sense that out there? That you it was kind of building as you went on?
Yeah, definitely. I think there were some exciting games there too. Like against Switzerland, it was 2-1. Like we were defending a 1-goal lead at the end, so the crowd was kind of getting loud there. And then against Slovakia, we were down 2, so kind of had a good comeback there, and the crowd got really into it. And then kind of playing the best team that won at Sweden for our 4th game. A lot of fans there, so yeah, I'd definitely say it. The energy and kind of the fans just ramped up as it went on.
St. Cloud this weekend, as I mentioned it to the head coach, barring them going on a heck of a heater here, this will be the last chance he doesn't get to play on the big sheet because they're going to change after the end of the year. What do you think about playing on the big sheet?
I used to hate it because when I was in Lincoln, we would always day trip to Waterloo, and they had an Olympic sheet there, and our legs, we would just have bus legs, and it just wasn't good. But now that you're in college and you leave a day before and you get a morning skate in, I kind of like it. I like the more ice and more time to make plays. So I think I'd say I'm a proponent for it.
Defensively, what are the challenges of playing a team that's used to playing on the big sheet?
Yeah, I think St. Cloud's really good at their cycle game. We actually worked on it today in practice, just structure over kind of just speed, just making sure you're not getting burnt by racing out to plays and then having them kind of play it through you. You got to have really good structure and kind of be a little more patient and kind of have more of a planned attack when you're going in the corners.
Might be the first defensive the big sheet. Generally, we hear the forwards love the big sheet because there's more room to throw it on. Defensemen don't like it.
Yeah. It's only tough when you're defending in the corners, though. That's the only bad part about it.
Adam, there was a different goaltender than for you guys on Saturday, Ethan Dahlmeyer. As a defenseman, how do you change your game necessarily, or maybe the communication style is different between him and Adam Guy? So how do you go about maybe adjusting for a different goaltender?
We don't. All the goalies know the calls that we want if they're going back for a puck, and we're on one side, so it doesn't change there. And the way the team plays, it doesn't change at all. We know no matter who's playing, we're going to play our hardest, and they're going to play their hardest for us.
Let you guys know he's going to the Olympics.
We were at Ty's house for dinner, the whole team, and he was just kind of he was waiting for kind of everyone to be done eating, and it was kind of awkward. Like he didn't want to just stand up and and say it. He just, he wanted someone like, oh, Giles got something to say, but everyone was super happy for him, and yeah, it was a cool moment to share with him. All right, sweet. Thank you.